Om Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you very much for joining us today.
Jaya Jaya Shree Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shree Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shree Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Tomorrow is a glorious day. Two celebrations. The celebration of Hori, which is a very wonderful, happy festival, full of color, full of life, and indicative of the arrival of spring. Of course, it's already arrived during Vasant Panchami, but now full-blown spring and very happy times, especially in Vrindavan, in Barsana, and other places like that. But also, we celebrate this day as Gaura Purnim. So it's Purnima tomorrow, full moon, and it's the day that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in 1486, full moon day on Vaishak, I think it is the month. Is that right, Vaishak? Can't remember now exactly what month it is, but this is the month. And he's Yuga Avatar. He's the most important personality for this avatar, for this age, Yuga. And he's hidden incarnation. So many people are not aware of him. And if you especially ask our Hindu community, they will be wondering, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? But actually, there are many, many scriptural references as to his identity. We won't go through all of them. Oh, yeah, we won't go through all of them, but we may just take little snippets from some of them. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Mayapur, West Bengal, over 500 years ago as a son of Sachi Devi. He is Krishna himself, who appeared to inaugurate the Yuga Dharma, Harinam Sankirtan, congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. He never disclosed himself as the incarnation of the Lord, not publicly anyway. Privately, he gave darshan to his confidential associates about his actual identity. But in public, he is hidden. And he exemplified the life of a perfect devotee so that others can follow in his footsteps. Below are certain important verses from some of the well-known Vedic scripture literatures to substantiate the identity of Lord Chaitanya as the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So these are some of the scripture references. No, not all of them. There's many, countless actually. Many scripture references about Chaitanya, but these are some of them. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the scripture we're going through, 11th canto, 5th chapter, 32nd verse, it says, Krishna varnam tusha Krishnam sango pangastram pashadam yagya sankirtan payane yajanti bhi sumedasa. So this is one of the most important verses. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the holy name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he's Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So he's not blackish, he's actually golden color, beautiful. So we won't go into any particular detail there. Vishnu Sahasranam has got 2 sloks, which
So I'm learning Vishnu Sahasranam.
wow, good boy, good boy.
Actually, when I was small, I learned it, but I forgot.
Okay.
And now I am all again doing.
Excellent. Yeah, well done. Very good boy. So, yes, there's a couple of sloks in the Vishnu Sahasranam which describe Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Gurud Purana also include explanation of who he is and where he is going to appear and why he's going to appear. Then there is the Nrsimha Purana, also has description of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And talks about his mission. Padma Puran, one of the most famous Puranas, talks about Lord Chaitanya, talks about Mayapur as well, the birthplace. And there's a similar verse in the Brahma Purana as well, predicting the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. The Narad Purana also has description of Chaitanya.
Prabhuji, how many Puranas are there?
18 small and 18 big, 18 Mahapuranas. And
Okay, Prabhuji.
we are going through the most important one, Bhagavad Puran, which is regarded to be the spotless Puran.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, and yeah, Bhavishya Puran also, Vayu Puran has also description. So we have to understand, just because people are not aware of Lord Chaitanya, it doesn't mean he doesn't exist, and is not authorized, is described in the scriptures, is really amazing, actually. We're very fortunate. The Matsya Purana also has a description of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the age of Kali Yuga, I will be golden color. I will be tall, will have a shaven head. The place where I take birth will be a meeting point of 3 rivers. I will be very merciful, and I will keenly engage in chanting the holy names. So this one is nicely described, actually. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being an Ekadandi sannyasi, had completely shaven head, as was the custom for such sannyas. 3 rivers, the Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati, which currently is in a hidden form, flow at Navadvip. The Skanda Purana also describes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this way, we should be confident that this is a authorized incarnation, if you like, of the Supreme Lord. And many people will try to counteract it, but don't worry about it, because at the end of the day, we depend on Shastra, Guru, and Sadhu. These are our sources of knowledge, authority. Others have their own, but this is what we rely on, and this is what gives us substance. So, as an introduction, he appeared on 27th, must be in March 1486, on a full moon night during the lunar eclipse. And that's wrong. This year it falls on Friday, the 18th of March 2022. And he appeared in Navadvip. It's a large city straddling both sides of the Ganga, and it's praised in the scriptures as a holy place. Navadvip was famous during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time as a center of learning and culture. Many scholars used to open up their pathsalas, their schools, Sanskrit schools. At a time when Bharat was suffering from rampant spiritual stagnation, strict caste stratification, the prominence of logic over mystic experience, and domination by Islamic rulers, socially, morally, spiritually, politically, and intellectually, there was need for change. Every way you look at it, there was need for some change. And it's typical for people to bathe in the Ganga during an eclipse and chant the holy names for purificatory purposes. So everyone in the area was chanting the holy names when he was born. So what happened, like tomorrow, it becomes a full moon, and in the full moon, when the moon is about to rise, people were in the Ganga. Even the Mohammedans were in the Ganga, and they were all chanting Hari Bol without knowing why. And there was so much ecstasy at that moment. And that's when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. He appeared, of course, because of the loud cryings of Advaitacharya, who forced him to come. Advaitacharya is no different from Mahavishnu and Sadashiva combined. But he decided that it needs Krishna himself to come to this world, to make a difference, to make the changes that are required. in order for people to progress in their spiritual life. So he cried out to him to force him to come. So they gave him the name, where does that come from? Vishwambhar, that's right, support of the universe. The reason they gave him that name was because astrologers had predicted his superhuman qualities, and he would deliver the people of the world. He was also nicknamed Nimai because he was born under neem tree. So that's really, Nimai is one of the most close names of the Lord, pet name. During his childhood, he displayed mysterious powers. So this is where, Riansh, you can give your couple of stories if you like.
What, Prabhuji?
You want to tell what you wanted to say about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Prabhuji, that the stories that I tell, it is related to youth age, Prabhuji. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was...
Go for it.
It's
That's
okay.
okay. Yeah, good. You have a presentation, or you just want to speak?
Prabhuji, I also have a presentation.
So you can share it.
Okay.
When you're ready. When you're ready, just share it. Let him share it. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to go.
No. Okay, good. So you can share it when you're ready. Okay, I'll speak until you share it. So
Okay, Prabhuji.
he outwitted thieves. 2 thieves came. They saw him full of jewels, and they picked him up and carried him all over the place. And the way they did it, he tricked them into bringing him back to his home. So it was a bit of an interesting journey. Also, when he was very little, he used to cry a lot. And when the ladies of the neighborhood would chant, "Hari Bol, Hari Bol," at that time, he would stop crying. So he would inspire the chanting of the holy names, even when he was a tiny little baby. One time he played with a poisonous snake and nothing happened to him. He also spoke philosophy with his mother. One time he was eating dirt, and his mother asked him, "What are you doing? Why are you eating dirt?" And he said, "Well, this dirt is the same. It comes from earth. And food also comes from earth. It's the same." And his mother was really impressed with his. He was a very young boy with his philosophy, but she convinced him, no, food is different from earth. You can't digest earth, but you can digest food. As he grew, his beauty and intelligence began to show more fully. He was a brilliant student who quickly mastered poetics, Sanskrit grammar, and the current fad, which was Navya Nyaya, a form of logic. He was really expert in logic, and he would defeat anybody in logic. And even somebody who was saying that they are theists, believing God, he would convince them to become atheist. He was so sharp in his logic skills. He would often play at defeating his fellow students using logic. While still young, he opened his own school and began teaching grammar and logic as well. Are you ready, Riansh? Okay, I'll carry on. One time a scholar came. What was his name? Kashmiri Pandit. Right?
Prabhuji, I presented.
Okay, go for it.
Go
for it.
Yes, Prabhuji. The story is about Lord Jagannath comes as a sannyasi. A few generations before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, his mother was Sachi Mata, and her mother's father is Neelambar Chakravarti. So we are talking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grandparents of the few generations before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they were the ardent devotees of Lord Jagannath. They would always worship Lord Jagannath with so much faith. The grandfather and the grandparents of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one day night, when they were sleeping, Lord Jagannath came in their dream and said, I am going to come very soon in your family only. He replied them in their dream. So, and he told that they were staying in another place other than Bengal. So, but Lord Jagannath told that you pack all your things and go to Bengal. So they immediately the next day when they got this stream, they packed all their items and went to Bengal. In Bengal, there is a place named Siet, the place where they all stayed. So they went to Siet and they stayed there in Bengal. So Jagannath Mishra went to study under Neelambar Chakravarti school. So Neelambar Chakravarti conducts a school there. Jagannath Mishra went to study and there. Then Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata got married. So they were the parents of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they were staying there in the Siet, Bangladesh. They moved to Bangladesh. Then again Lord came in their dream and asked Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata. So before how Jagannath appeared to the parents of Sachimata, Neelambar Chakravarti, and the mother of Sachimata is Shobha Devi. So how he appeared in the dream and told to move to Bengal, like that the Lord instructed Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata to move back to Navadvip. Then Shobha Devi and Neelambar Chakravarti were speaking that then Jagannath Sachimata said to Jagannath Mishra that when will we have a son who represents all the qualities of Lord Krishna. So they were thinking like that. So in the meantime, the mother of Sachimata, Shobha Devi, is thinking that please send. You told me you will come in my generation. Please please come into my generation. Then Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata had 8 daughters, but they all passed away. They died. Then after many years, a son was born and his name was Vishwarupa. So we call Chaitanya Mahaprabhu another name Vishwambar, and his elder brother is known as Vishwarupa. Then in 1486, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took birth. So when Shobha Devi, she was becoming old, she was becoming old, and she was waiting for Lord Krishna to come into the generation. Then one day when she was meditating, Lord Jagannath came into her dream. She was dressed like he had saffron robes with a sannyasi danda. Then he went to Bangladesh where Shobha Devi and Neelambar Chakravarti were living. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Shobha Devi and Neelambar Chakravarti's house in sannyas roop. They don't even know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has came as a sannyas. So Shobha Devi, he knocked the door, and Shobha Devi came and said, and that my vision was a sannyasi. You are with a full head. So she is telling that my vision is different, and while the sannyasi came, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that I am your grandson, but Shobha Devi said, no, you are not my grandson. You don't look like my grandson. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that if I have to prove that I am Lord Krishna, you have a deity room, right? Lock me in there for 10 days, and let's see if I transform into Lord Jagannath. So after some time, Chaitanya, there was in the deity room, some sounds were coming, and there was Sankirtana going. So she also sang, and she was also in ecstasy. Then after 4 days, she was waiting like this, and she couldn't tolerate what is happening. Then suddenly she saw that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared. So she was waiting for him. So when she suddenly opened the door, all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Nityanand Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar Pandit, Haridas Thakur, they were also there when the Sankirtan was going. But when Shobha Devi opened the door, all of them vanished. So when she came to know that it was none other than her grandson, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she came lovingly and put a very beautifully decorated mala. Then she started hugging Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when she was absorbed in ecstasy. After some time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu turned into a deity, as you can see in the picture. He turned into a deity and went into Shobha Devi's hands. But this time it was a different deity. We never see any deities taking sannyas, but this deity is a sannyasi deity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he had circle eyes. So when in Sanskrit we call circle eyes as Chakadola. We call this deity as Chakadola, as he has circle eyes like Jagannath. So the Lord is always merciful to us. He can fulfill all the wishes we have. And still there is this deity somewhere. If I can find it, I can tell you, please.
Well done, Riyansh. Very, very nicely presented. Thank you. How old are you again? 8.
8, Prabhuji.
Why? Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
very nice. Very well said the story. Thank you. I really enjoyed.
Well done. Very good.
Prabhuji, after sometime I will prepare for the another story. As I told, I have 2 stories.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Very good boy.
Prabhuji, can I take time?
Congratulations, Riyansh. Haribol.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Well done. Well done.
Congratulations, Riyan. Well done. Well prepared.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. How are you?
Fine, Mataji.
Good. Good.
Is our future preacher.
Yeah, definitely. He's a current preacher by the sound of it. Amazing.
A mini preacher going to be a big preacher. Haribol.
I think he's got very clear voice also. The word he spells, it's very nice, you know.
Yeah.
The way he talks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's good. Confident.
Riyansh Prabhu ki jai.
Hey. Good lad. Good lad. Very proud of
Thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So one time this Kashmiri Pandit came, and everybody in Navadvip realized that he was a very powerful scholar, and they all ran away. They didn't want to debate with him because his mood was debating and defeating. He wanted to be the greatest scholar in Bharat. So they left it all to Nimai, young Nimai. So he approached Nimai and he said, I'd like to debate with you. He said, Nimai said, okay, no problem. What would you like to debate? He said, I can recite 100 sloks or 108 sloks of Ganga, like the speed of the wind. And he did. He recited 108 sloks, very beautiful sloks. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, you did fantastic. I'm amazed. But there was one slok that you made some errors in. And he recited that slok by memory. And the scholar was amazed. He said, how did you remember? I spoke this verse so quickly. How did you remember? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, well, there are these errors as well. And he pointed out a few grammatical errors because his poetry was supposed to be perfect. But he pointed out a few errors. And the scholar was completely devastated. He was thinking, wow, he was a devotee of Mother Saraswati. When he went back, defeated like this at home, he was sleeping. I mean, he was so devastated. In his dream, Saraswati Mata came and said, don't worry, you were defeated by none other than Krishna himself, who has appeared as Chaitanya. So go and take shelter of him. Which is exactly what this Pandit did. He took shelter. He went next day and begged forgiveness from the Lord. And the Lord was very pleased with him. And he became a great devotee, actually, of Krishna. So anyway, that's a really amazing pastime. Nimai's father, after he passed away, Nimai went to Gaya to do the final rites for his father, the Pindan ceremony. At that time, he came across Ishwarapuri. Now, Ishwarapuri was a great devotee. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation, took a guru, took Ishwarapuri as his guru. And of course, the Lord does not need a guru, but he gives that as an example for us that we should have a guru. Even I, the Supreme Lord, accept a guru when I come to your world. So he accepted a guru, and after he accepted this, he lost all interest in logic and argument, because that's what his mood was before. And then he absorbed himself after the initiation into the chanting of the holy names. And he went back to his spiritual master one time and he said, what mantra have you given me? I've gone mad. I'm simply in ecstasy of chanting these wonderful names that you've given me. So this is the how he began the Sankirtan movement. And he would reveal himself, to Advaita. as Vishwarup, Mahavishnu form of the Lord, the universal form of the Lord, rather, sorry. And he revealed to Ramananda Ray, his form is Radha and Krishna. Ramananda Ray is none other than either Lalita or Vishaka, I can't remember which one now. So in time, he would ask the devotees to preach the holy names of the Lord, especially this Maha Mantra. He would ask everybody to chant and dance. And they would have like almost 24 hours of kirtan in the house of Srinivas Acharya. No, sorry, Srivas Thakur. And that is called Srivas Angam. And that place is still there in Mayapur. When you go, you can have darshan at Srivas Angam. And even though the Muslim rulers were in charge at that time, they eventually allowed the Sankirtan movement to flourish. One time, actually, because of the sort of typical Hindu protests against Mahaprabhu's chanting of the holy names, the Chandkazi instructed his army to break up the chanting of the holy names. So one time they broke the madanga of the devotees. And at that time, there was a huge protest by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the first civil disobedience protest, non-violent, where all the devotees went there chanting the holy names. And at that time, Chandkazi revealed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that in the middle of the night, after the drum was broken, I had a vision of this lion who bounced on my chest and tried to rip me up. And he warned me, if you stop the Sankirtan movement, the chanting of the holy names, I will kill you. So that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said to the Chandkazi, yes, that is Lord Nrsimhadev. And after that, the Chandkazi and all the rulers since then, Mughal rulers, they allowed the chanting of the holy names. So later on, he took sannyas from Keshava Bharati at a place called Katwa, he was 24 years old. He had beautiful, long, flowing black hair, but everything was shaved off, and he was a real, devotees were just shocked when that happened. So this is the Chandkazi bit where they're discussing. Chandkazi surrendered onto Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the dream where he was sleeping, and the Shinga came and started ripping at his chest. So, well, after he took sannyas, he was going to go to Vrindavan, but his mother requested him, please, don't go to Vrindavan. It's such a far away place. Go to Jagannath Puri instead. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very kindly agreed, and he was in Jagannath Puri. And for 4 months every year during the Chaturmasya, devotees used to go to Jagannath Puri during the Rath Yatra festival and spend time with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One time in Jagannath Puri, there was a devotee called Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, they were very much into the Mayavadi philosophy that I can become God, everybody can become God. We are all God, which is like the Mayavadi's philosophy given by Shankaracharya. So one time, this Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are a sannyasi, but you don't know anything about our philosophy. Let me teach you. So for 7 days and nights, he spoke to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just listened to him. And after he'd spoken for such a long time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya asked him, well, have you understood anything? You've said nothing. How do I know you've understood anything I've said? Do you know the Vedanta? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yeah, I know the Vedanta, but what you've said, I don't understand at all, because you are talking in riddles. And you are talking as philosophy, which cannot possibly make any sense. And in that way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him scriptural references and convinced Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that his philosophy of Mayavad philosophy is incorrect. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became a very staunch devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is the glory of the Lord. Sachimata in Mayapur, which is hundreds of miles away from Jagannath Puri, would cook, and she would offer that food to her son, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he would eat, even though he was hundreds of miles away. This is the omnipresence of the Supreme Lord. He can be in one place and another place simultaneously at the same time.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Naniman.
Sachimata is serving him. Is there much any reference about his wife serving him?
Yes,
At the age of 24.
yes. First he was married to Lakshmi Priya, who passed away when she was very young. And then he married again to Vishnu Priya. And Vishnu Priya, there's quite a lot of discussion about her serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But then when he took sannyas at the age of 24, of course, there was devastation in the hearts of everybody, especially Vishnu Priya. But she honored the Lord by accepting him taking sannyas and giving him full support. She never saw him again. But she continued, even after he left the planet. She was still in this world and would guide the devotees. She was an amazing personality. But yeah, there's some references to Vishnu Priya serving Mahaprabhu, definitely. Is that okay, Naniman?
Yes, thanks, Prabhuji.
Yes, Riyansh.
Roger, can you present me another story?
Okay, let me just finish off. I think it's not going to be too long now.
Okay, Roger.
Yeah, I'll go through it very quickly and then you can do. So this is he met some sannyasis in Varanasi, and again, they were all part of this Mayavad philosophy of Sankaracharya, and he converted them. He met some Buddhists in the south of Bharat, and they tried to poison him, and a bird came from the sky, took the plate of poisoned food, and from the sky was thrown down, and it hit the main head priest on the head. He met Shiv Parvati when he was on his tour in the south of Bharat. Some very amazing pastimes. But a lot of time was spent in Jagannath Puri. Out of the remaining 24 years, 18 years was spent. Was it 18 years was spent in Jagannath?
Roger?
Yes.
Roger, it was told like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was judged before Jagannath, the chariot would move, and when he goes to side, Jagannath couldn't see him, so he stopped the chariot.
That's right, because he was dancing so amazingly. Jagannath would like to see him dance, and that's absolutely right. So he stayed in this world for 48 years, 24 as sannyas, 24 as in the Grihastha ashram. And a major part of his time was in Jagannath Puri. And he loved this deity, which is Tota Gopinath, one of the most unique deities, where Krishna is sitting in a lotus position, which is an amazing pastime. And he created this incredible tree of which has branches which basically cover the whole world in terms of spreading this love of Godhead. This is the most amazing thing about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's that he wanted to inundate the world with prema bhakti, love of God. So, and we are really lucky we can be the recipients of this prema bhakti. And the price is very small price, little bit of shraddha, faith. That's all we need. And he has opened up this wonderful marketplace of the holy name. Him and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, together they really inundated this whole world with prema bhakti. So we're really, really lucky. So let's hear what young Rianj has to say. And I actually am going to take your leave a little early because we're a little bit in panic mode at the moment, trying to organize the festival for Holi. But Jayanti will be here. So, but Rianj, please share your second story.
Yes, Prabhuji, I am trying to share.
Thank you so much.
Prabhuji, can you give me 1 minute?
Okay. Are there any questions, any comments whilst we're just waiting? Yes, Papa Ben.
Only I know I'm taking interest slowly. Just wanted to know who is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we are talking about him all the time.
Yes, he's came
Is
about.
he is not Prabhu Mapa?
Prabhupada, no.
But
he came 540 years ago in Bengal.
Okay.
In Mayapur, Bengal. And he is same as Krishna.
He's same as Krishna.
Yeah, same as Krishna. And very important incarnation. He's told us we should chant this Hare Krishna, what we chant at the end.
Oh, right.
In that way,
okay.
Perfect our life.
Life, yeah. Now this Rian can carry on, and
Yeah.
I will. I think I will Google it about this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
And then I will get into it more. Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. Thanks for telling me.
Okay. So yes, Rian, over to you.
Rian, you muted.
Prabhuji, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So we are again going to discuss about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, about his life, his whole lifetime we are going to discuss. So the most visited places we have to go to is in India. We have to go to Sheshadipuram and we can see Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra here. So every day if I have any time, I will show darshan of every deities of India. So let's start with the Guru Pranam. Anybody want to recite or can I recite?
Okay, I will. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pachitari Deshatarine.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody else wants to recite the next book? Okay. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vranda. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So first we are going to know about interesting facts about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu education past tense. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was 8 years old, Jagannath Mishra, who is the father of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he sent to Tola of Gangadas Pandit in Ganganagar, which is a close village to Mayapur. So when you go to Mayapur, you can visit Ganganagara, I think. So Tola means the ashram in Sanskrit. Tola means ashram. Jagannath Mishra sent Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was also called Nimai because when he was born under an tree. So his name is also called as Nimai, as he was born under neem tree. So in 2 years he always spent in Gangadas Pandit's Tola. So there he learned Sanskrit grammar and rhetoric. So after the 10th year, so 10 years have passed. 10 years of his age. So 10 years of his age has passed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so he left the Gangadas Pandit's school, Gurukul, and he became a scholar in grammar. So he went to another school of. So he went to another school. So this time it was at the home of a devotee named Gangadasa. So it was still continuing. He again went to Gangadasa Tola. So there So as Prabhuji told that he would challenge all his friends. Some friends of him, Murari Gupta, Krishnananda, and Kamalakanta, and others were always defeated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he was a scholar in the Sanskrit grammar. So he was baffling his classmates. So he was nevertheless, he was not proud of that. I defeated everybody. Then I am the greatest of the greatest. He didn't think. He just behaved like a normal material student. And then so as I told, Lord education past tense, this all past tense were in Gangadas Pandit Tola. Then at the age of 14 to 13 or 15, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu married Lakshmi Devi. So she was the daughter of Vallabhacharya, also of Nadia. So they are also in Nadia, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stays. And Lakshmi Devi's father is Vallabhacharya. So his wife Lakshmi Devi, she died. Because she was bitten by a snake. So her mother, she requested again and again to marry Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's wife before wife was dead by a snake. So her mother insisted him to the daughter of Raja Pandita Sanatan Mishra. So his name is Raja Pandita Sanatan Mishra. Her father name is. Then at the age of 16 to 17, he traveled to Gaya with a host of his students. So by that time, he took a Gurukul where he had students. So he went with his students to Gaya. So there was a master named Ishwara Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation from Ishwara Puri. So he was a Vaishnava sannyasi and he was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So as Prabhuji told, below there is what Ishwar Puri told the divine mantra to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. My mind is becoming very restless in anticipation of this initiation. So that was the divine saying. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taught that I want to take initiation from you. So he was already started Sankirtan Yagna, and the most prominent disciples are Nityananda Mahaprabhu, where you can see he is wearing a blue shirt, a blue coat, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always wears yellow garments and Nityananda Mahaprabhu always wears blue garments, and he would send also Haridas Thakur. So, we are going to learn about the special kindness of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, you can see there Nimai Pandit is not only a gigantic genius, but he is certainly a missionary from God Almighty. It is telling that Nimai Pandit means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not just a very big genius, but he certainly is a missionary avatar of the Almighty God, Lord Krishna. So, and the 23rd year, at the 23rd year, Mahaprabhu preached his principles not only in Nadia, because before he was a small child, so he was not allowed to go away from Nadia, because if we go away from Nadia, there are other towns and villages. So as a small child, no one let him, but Mahaprabhu, he only preached in Nadia. But after the 23rd year, he started preaching in India's important towns and villages. So he appointed Nityananda Mahaprabhu as the missionary in charge of Bengal. So he told that Nityananda, please take care of, please tell the Krishna consciousness to the place of Bengal. So he also dispatched the disciples, the 6 Goswamis, who are the 6 Manjaris, to Vrindavan. He sent them to Vrindavan like how Nityananda Mahaprabhu was sent to Bengal. He sent the six Goswamis, one another than 6 Manjaris in Krishna Leela. They went to preach love of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan. So when Mahaprabhu was in youth, he built a Sanskrit academy in Navadvipa. So one of the India's top centers of learning at the time. So till now it is, and earned a reputation as an excellent scholar because he was addressed as an excellent scholar in Sanskrit grammar, but at the age of 24 he renounced everything, and he too encouraging everyone he met to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So why did he take sannyas is the real question. He took sannyas because when he was in Grihastha, he thought that no one listens to a Grihastha, but if you become a sannyasi, everyone would listen to you. So he tried to become a sannyasi. So he liked the position of a sannyasi, and at Katwa, under the guidance of Keshav Bharati of that town. So at the 24th year, that time of his age, so Shree Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited numerous places, uncountable places in South India, all in South India, and returned to Puri in 2 years. So he stayed in Puri for 2 years, and you can see the bottom part is all the South India. So we can see, can we see Mayapur? Can you see Mayapur? So we can see Mayapur. It is in South India, and we can you see Dwarka? Can anybody see Dwarka?
Yeah, here.
Where, Mataji?
It's on the east side, opposite side of Mayapur.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited so many places in South India, and at the 31st year, Mahaprabhu continuously even lived in Puri, and during these 18 years, his life was settled with love and purity. He was surrounded by numerous followers. As you can see in the before picture, there are so many followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As you can see, all of them. I am marking them. Yeah. So, all of who were the highest order of Vaishnavas with the love of Radha and Krishna. So he always want to preach the prema. Prema means in English we can tell as love. So he always want to preach the prema of Radha Krishna, and we are going to story time. So the story is about. So anybody has any questions in the interesting facts topic?
Riyansh, actually, we're running over time. Can we do this maybe on Monday?
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah, because it's 10 to 5. It's quite late for you as well.
Yes, Mataji.
Brilliant. You done really well with all this. Brilliantly explained by all the pictures as well. Thank you, Riyansh.
Thank you, Mataji.
Riyansh, which book did you read, if you don't mind me asking? Which book is it from? Oh, he didn't hear me, I think.
Which book, Mata? What, Mataji?
Okay, thank you. I'm going now, yeah?
Okay,
Jai
thank
Shri-
you, Prabhavan. Yeah.
Jai Shri
Rian,
Krishna.
Yes, Krishna. Rian, so where did you get all this information from? That's what Shyam Malin is asking.
Mataji, I read the stories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
From which book?
From mostly Chaitanya Chaitamrita.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. But you found nice pictures to go with all the different stories, which is really good. Very well researched. Thank you, Riansh.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Go Purnima ki jai.